Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh yeah, look at this group of people. That's a round table, but not the kind we all know about in Camelot. Yeah, you can see the coordinator frameworks there. You got Maliki all the way over to the right. Kel Ali right next to him. Across the table, we have our friend there, Sudani. So yeah, they're definitely going over everything that's been discussed these last couple of days, and so are we. An interesting part of a paragraph inside an article has grabbed the people's attention, and as usual, rumors are flying around. So let's get into that. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPYSILVER. Yes, it has changed. PIMPYSILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. Feel free to pause the video, go ahead and write it down, and if you want to, you can reach out to me. As has been in almost every video that everybody's created over the last couple of months, talk about the exchange rate is in the articles. Changes to the Central Bank of Iraq are in here as well. So it says the central bank forms a joint operation room with banks to control the exchange rate of the dollar. There are two articles that are the same, basically. So I'm going to skip this one and we're going to go down to the other one. But first, we have this coordinated framework. The Council of Ministers intended to submit the 2023 budget to Parliament for approval. Now, they were supposed to do this at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, and we are already into February, and they still have not submitted the budget yet. A statement from the coordinated framework received by the news. The coordination framework held a meeting this evening in the office of Abadi, in the presence of the Prime Minister, and discussed developments in the political and the wish scene. And the wish scene, that's what it says. So there's one area in which they talk politics, another area where they talk current events, and there's one designated spot where they talk about wishes. In addition to discussing the file of the federal budget, which the Minister Councils intend to submit to the House of Representatives for approval. During the meeting, the Prime Minister provided a detailed explanation of mechanisms on the basis of which the federal budget and its compatibility with the government program, in addition to the dialogues held by the Central Bank of Iraq with the U.S. Federal Bank in Istanbul 2 days ago, and the reform packages issued by the Central Bank of Iraq. He pointed out that the treatments provided by the central bank come within the process of a financial and banking reform. According to the statement, the meeting discussed government measures to reduce the effects of exchange rate fluctuation on poor and marginalized segments. The meeting discussed the up-and-coming visit of Iraq delegation to Washington, headed by the foreign minister, to complete the Istanbul meetings. So on the stock exchange for Baghdad, you can see that the exchange rate for the dinars came down slightly. It's now 1,650 dinars for every dollar. I'm curious to see what kind of so-called mechanisms are going to take place. I have a feeling that my biggest concern about what might happen in Iraq is going to go ahead and be implemented. And what I mean by that is these electronic payments, I have a feeling, are a version or an extension or the launching of the central bank digital currency over there in Iraq. So we have the Russian foreign minister is over there in Iraq, who arrived earlier today. Now, I know it says in an article that they come for all the same types of conversations, how to do business together, how to do trade, how can we develop working relationships. But if you're really out there paying attention to what's going on, you can see that we have Poland sending jets over to Ukraine. Tanks are supposed to be coming from somewhere else. We're sending a ton of military equipment over there. Putin has sent 200,000 soldiers to the border. And this is what gets me. And just a quick side note. You know, I keep talking to people about this war. I go, this is not really a war. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong. But America keeps trying to paint the picture that Ukraine is winning, therefore keep giving them billions of our tax dollars, when the truth is, they've lost a huge chunk of their military. They're getting their ass kicked, and Russia hasn't even really applied any type of tactics against them. I listened to a general last night, and it was unbelievable to hear. So our taxpayer dollars are being funneled through Ukraine as an excuse to support Ukraine in this war. It's not what's happening. The Central Bank of Iraq announces a new package of measures to curb the rise in the price of the dollar. All right, so let's go over these because this is interesting. So the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Ali Alak, revealed on Sunday that the new package of measures will be launched in the middle of the month to control the rise in the dollar exchange, while granting bank branches in the province the authority for foreign remittance. The information office of the central bank said in a statement received by the news, the key words met with the heads of boards, general managers, and commissioners of government and private banks to make the necessary arrangements for the first package of exchange rate control procedures into practice and clarify and simplify procedures to achieve smoothness and speed in the implementation of the dollar purchase orders. So there's a few things that stand out about this. You know, what kind of procedures are they going to implement? They're just talking about this new digital system. They are setting Iraq up in the SWIFT 2.0 system. Iraq missed the opportunity to do it with the last government, and so that's what they're talking about. The SWIFT 2.0 system is a system that's going to be used to put everybody into the central bank digital currency. The governor confirmed the central bank's ability to make all legitimate requests, indicating that a second import package will be issued in the middle of this month. So here's the things that they're talking about. He pointed out that there is no internal or external restrictions on the external transfers or sale of cash to dollars in compliance with the IMF agreement ratified by the House of Representatives in 2008. So no internal or external restrictions. Man, if this doesn't sound like a setup, I don't know what is. It sounds to me like they're going to give the impression that people are more than welcome to come in and test the new system to see if you could try to get away with some shenanigans. I think they're kind of banking on it. We'll see. It's a new system and there's no restrictions. Interesting. He pointed out that the new system does not aim to restrict the responses to legitimate requests as much as it aims to provide protection to the banking and financial system from illegal or suspicious operations, supports the application of the anti-money laundering and terrorist financial laws and related instructions, and also enhances the openness of the bank sector abroad, which has been deprived for decades. I said this before in another video, and that is, they're going to have some big, huge false flag event take place. It's going to be a terrorist attack. And then they're going to try to tell us we need to implement this central bank digital currency so that we can keep track of all transactions. That's going to be their excuse. I guarantee it. Just like they pulled that stunt with 9/11, that was their excuse to go ahead and spy on all citizens. And there's going to be another event, and it's going to be major, that they're going to use as their excuse to go ahead and push everybody into the central bank digital currency. Keywords pointed out the exchange rate is related to the lives of citizens and their purchasing capabilities. The exchange rate is related to the lives of citizens and their purchasing capabilities. The whole purpose of the central bank digital currency isn't just to spy on you and keep track of everything that you do. It also has an expiration date on the money. There's no way to save. You're in a perpetual state of enslavement. But one of the ways they might reward you is to give you more purchasing power the more you spend. We are a debt-based economy, and so if you create reward system for people who shop, then they're constantly in a state of debt, in a perpetual state of enslavement, and they never have any money. And maybe one of the things they can do to push people in that direction is just reward them with more purchasing power. That's what it almost feels like they're saying here. The exchange rate is related to the lives of citizens and their purchasing capabilities, which should be stable at the target levels of great priority, and the efforts of the relevant concerned parties should be combined to prevent harm to citizens. Man, this thing has central bank digital currency written all over it. I have a feeling that Iraq is getting ready to be one of the first people to go into the central bank digital currency. The system is set up, the SWIFT 2.0. It has already been tested and is set up to start doing this central bank digital currency. Keywords directed not to limit requests to external transfers and cash in Baghdad, and to take immediate measures to receive bank branches in the province those requests. See where it says take immediate measures to receive bank branches? They want to make sure that all of their banks are tied into the same system. He announced that the Central Bank of Iraq has launched new external channels and outlets to facilitate the conduct of external transfers and avoid the role of intermediary who are not qualified to do so. In other words, your country is not qualified to monitor your external transfers. We will do it for you. This is unbelievable. You can see they're pushing us there now. They know once they control our money, then they think they have us. This is another reason why you should be into gold and silver. He warned against exploiting the current circumstances to carry out unauthorized acts or activities that make the situation more difficult, indicating that the central bank would take strict punitive measures against violators authorized by it. The governor of the central bank decided to form a joint operations room between the central bank and banks so they can go ahead and monitor the process as it's being implemented. So during the meeting, they had an opportunity to discuss the federal budget that the Council of Ministers intend to submit to the House of Representatives for approval. I'm sure while they were there, they had their meeting of wishes to see which wishes they wanted to grant. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Yeah, see, here's exactly what I'm talking about. A member of Parliamentary Finance Committee, Jamal Cougar for Al-Ahed, the previous government, was late in implementing the SWIFT system. And the discussions with the U.S. Federal Reserve were positive. SWIFT system, central bank digital currency. This has to do with the communications between the banks. They're supposed to simplify it, but they also are ISO 20022 compliant, which means they're allowed to use blockchain technology along with cryptocurrencies or something similar to that. And what would that be? The central bank digital currency. So the statement in the article is interesting. It says the exchange rate will depend on the citizens and their capabilities. So I don't want to speculate too much on there because that's kind of vague, but that sounds pretty much like the central bank digital currency. I never heard anybody say your exchange rate is going to be based on the lives of your citizens and their spending capability. Either you have a fixed or a floating exchange rate. I don't know what this one is based on the lives of the citizens. I'm going to need to look into that a little bit more and let you guys know. Anyways, what do you guys think it is? Let me know down in the comments and I'll get back to you. That's it for now. I'm out.